That looks a little better. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Abby, and overall, I'm just here to test the audio and see how well I could do a yoga practice with just my Blue Yeti here. Wish me luck. We'll see if it'll catch me as I move around or not. But thank you so much for joining me here today. This is my first try of doing a yoga class live from my yoga office studio. Normally I'm just doing my yoga here, not necessarily talking others through it. And so I greatly appreciate you joining me for a yoga practice today. And overall, my biggest disclaimer is nothing should hurt, be painful as we go through here. We may have some discomfort. We may sweat a little, power up our muscles, but nothing should be sharp and painful and like really hurt, right? If something like that happens, back off, call your doctor. As I pulled stuff in yoga before. So we don't want to do that. But overall, I think my class is going to be gentle today. I think overall we're going to start on the ground, maybe in child's pose, then maybe do some core, work on the shoulders, something like that, abs. So we'll see how this yoga practice goes. Wish me luck. Cheers to all of us. As yoga nowadays is so westernized, or that's what I'm scared of being. And so I try to study Eastern teachers as much as I can, or those who have studied in the East. My primary teacher is Sharon Salzberg. And then I do yoga with Adrian here for my yoga practice. And so we're going to do yoga practice my way. At least we'll try to. Wish me luck, right? This is my first time. And so we're going to start our practice today. When you feel ready to jump in our child's pose. So I'm going to move on to my hands and knees. Sink my sit bones to my heels. Reach my arms out overhead. Let my heart relax between my shoulder blades. Forehead rested on the mat. Maybe you're listening to music like I am. Get a little lost in the rhythm, allowing ourselves to our mood to uplift. Music at least does that for me. Let me sit in our first child's pose of our practice today. Settling into our bodies, taking up the space that we need to. An easy child. You can guarantee I won't be moving fast between any of my postures. Like the slowest you've ever seen in any yoga class ever, hopefully. As I find my way out of child's pose and toward tabletop, maybe a cow. Who knows where my practice is going to take me. And that, I think, is the beauty of my home practice that we miss out on when I go to class. I've done so much of my yoga practice here in my living room. when compared to public class. It's just too expensive. I sure can't afford it. I sure can't afford it. Oh, but I'm warming up my shoulders here, going between child's pose and my way to my tabletop. I've got to pause because my music has cut out on me. Shocker. Because I've not charged these buds in forever. We'll see if I can get her back. Well, that's probably why. There we go. Alrighty, crisis averted. Oh, and so after arriving here in my child's pose, I'm now making my way to tabletop. Gonna explore cat-cow. Once I stack my shoulders over my wrists and my hips over my knees. Trying to find my nice balanced tabletop. What organic movement couldn't make you embody your body more fully? Because I know I run away from it far too often. So what tabletop movements feel good for you today? I'm sorry if you're brand new to the practice. I am kind of assuming you know the movements I'm talking about. I apologize. I'm just trying to share the level of practice that I have. My level of practice is I know the poses. I've done years and years of yoga with Adrienne. And I just hope all of you take what she said to heart. Forever finding support through your core, pushing away from the mat, engaging our deep skeletal muscles, holding us up. Not falling into the joints and hurting ourselves. We care about these bodies deeply. So I hope you've found some expression in your tabletop, cat-cow. I'm going to take a break on my heels here and a hero-like posture to give my shoulders a break, as I definitely feeling the warmth come through them. Or at least that's what I was channeling in my tabletop today. Feeling what that lactic acid fall away from my arms, my shoulders. Being prepared for my next strong posture, but also staying present in my legs, as this hero is not always the easiest in the world. I got bad knees. Nothing in this is easy for me. Alrighty, but I think we can move on. I'm going to do some kind of ab work and a plank. A forearm plank. I'd like to be in a forearm plank. Work on my biceps, shoulder strength, but in a different way, kind of pushing away from the ground, getting into my abs. So how are you going to make your way to your forearm plank today? I'm going to interlace my fingers and plant my elbows on the ground. Ooh, as I stretch out my legs behind me, ultimately finding my way to a plank, a forearm plank. Exploring here very similarly to how I did in my tabletop. But can we stay present as we're doing a difficult pose, but still exploring our bodies in this difficult posture? At least that's what I'm going for. trying to shine the light in the dark places of my body. And yes, that does entail bringing some heat mindfully to my almost 6 foot long bag of flesh here. Oh, so I'm going to do these planks and move and hold and move and hold. My forearm plank, not really decide where it ends. I aspire to do a forearm stand one day. So that would be leading me to be doing this kind of a movement where I'm trying to find some strength in my shoulders, because I'd sure like to hold myself in that forearm stand one day. Ugh. I'm gonna explore a little active rest in a dolphin posture. Please feel free to move on to your rest as you see fit after your forearm plank. I know, not much rest in a dolphin, but I'm just trying to find extension with my armpits to chest. After I was flexing that part, I'm now extending it, but with strength. Finally getting into some of the rest of my body. That's my legs here in my downward facing dog leg posture. Maybe you throw through a puppy posture here, everything that's related. Maybe you've already moved on and found your own practice. Woo! So I'm resting in child's pose. Taking a rest for child's pose. Whew. The breath is such a powerful thing, and I use it in my yoga practice here to let go of that heat that I've just created in my body. Feeling the expansion through my ribcage, relaxing the arms once again. Should probably do some kind of flowy something, shouldn't I? Get a few lunges in, something of that nature. Probably a good idea. So with that being said, that means I should find my way to a downward facing dog. Ooh. Channel inner vinyasa. Trying to get in a few lunge reps. Wake up those hips in a new way. So, finding my way to a downward facing dog, walking my hands out in front of me, sending my hip bones to the sky. Ensuring not to kind of overextend my arms, as I have arms that go a little bit more than straight. Kind of that same sensation in my knees, straight but not overly straight. Breathing into the belly, maybe some lion's breath. How does your downward facing dog look today? As I prepare myself to lift my right leg to the sky, Working into my right leg lunge. How do you find your way from your downward facing dog into your right leg forward, low runner's lunge? Bringing my right foot forward, finding some balance between the push and the pull of this runner's lunge. Balancing my weight across the four corners of my feet to my toes. Trying to level my hips or find some activation through the legs as I move subtly in and out of this posture. Activating the legs, the glutes. Stretching my body on all of its planes. I'm gonna lower my knee for a sec and find some extension with my hands to the sky. Standing up in my low lunge, but with my knees down and supported, as my balance is bad enough here. Forever activating my core. So I play with closing my eyes and my balance falls away. Explore my low lunge now in this new way with the back knee lowered. Moving now in my low lunge, the right leg forward. Regretfully, I'll find my way back to my down dog to repeat this on the left side. Finding my low lunge with back knee up and then down. Taking your time to move through the postures. Because I'm not passing up my down dog in the middle. Resets me. But we will repeat our low lunge on the left side. Kinking our left heel up in our down dog and then finding your lunge with the left leg forward this time. Noticing inevitably how different our left and rights are, or at least that is my reality. Drastically different, right and left. Ooh, now my low lunge with the left foot forward, exploring from the ground up, my toes, my ankles, my calves, quads, glutes, low back, shoulders, neck, and crown of head. In each posture, we start at the ground and we move our way up, exploring how this posture means for me today, hopefully finding a little power in it, a little strength, before we ultimately lower that back knee and explore some more in this new expression of the posture, our low lunge. I've twisted a few times, straightened the leg a few times. Eventually lifting myself up, finding a bit more slight activation in this body of mine today. challenging that balance because mine's not so good. I like to take lots of time exploring my postures. Right or wrong, this is my practice. Please feel free to make yours your own. It's the beauty of this home practice. Ah. And I think I'll make my way through a down dog. Ultimately, I think I'm going to go to a wide leg forward fold on the ground. I think I'll take my transition through Malasana or Yogic squat. So for my lunge, I've moved back to my downward facing dog, which I'm then going to step my feet towards my hands, go through my yogic squat onto the ground, and ultimately probably moving towards a wide leg forward fold because they're my favorites. That sounds pretty good right about now. You're hearing the 25 years of negative self-talk work its way through my body and my hips right now. So wide leg forward fold always feels good. After a little down dog. Letting my head and my neck rest. And a forward fold. Oh. I'm gonna roll up to standing only momentarily, just to reach to the sky and stretch my body long, because I know I can't video this at all, so I am way too tall for any camera I have. Oh, just kind of standing up for a second since our head has been below our heart for a minute, so I don't get too dizzy as I move into Malasana, sinking my hips all the way to the ground. Whew. So moving towards Malasana, I'm going to widen my feet outside of my mat because my hips are very wide. And then I will slowly lower my hips to the ground, engaging my muscles the whole way, not letting my knees spill out. Ultimately finding my activation, hopefully my grounding through my feet. Pushing on my knees with my elbows in our Malasana deep yogic squat. Enjoying that I look to the left because my right hip has more room in it than my left hip does. But always trying to find some balance, right? Moving from the ground up, checking in with each body part. Seeing what subtle adjustments or movements we can explore today. Well, I'm still trying to maintain my crown of my head going towards the sky, a little bit of length in the spine. That's how I'm going to find more space in my hips, my knees, more space everywhere. We'll release to the ground if you haven't already done so. Maybe give my little leggies a shake out. Woo! My knees are sure feeling it after that. Molasana. Oh, if I can rope myself into it, I'd like to pause and do a little bit more abs before my wide leg forward fold, maybe a boat variation here. I still got my legs out long. Sneak in a little bit more abs because it's good for all of us. At least I'm trying to trick myself into that too, you know. But my hips are weak. And so maybe you too take a boat as we find our way to the ground after our sets of runner's lunge. Leaned my torso back, lifted my knees up slightly, engaging the core. Your variation of boat here, finding a bit of abdominal expression, expressing our strength and building more of it so that we can continue on in this blasphemous world. Feeling the burn in my boat. Oh. Taking one relaxing rest on my back. Ooh, man, lighting a fire on boat makes the rest so much more worth it. While resting here, I'm trying to contemplate if I still want to go into wide leg forward fold, and I do think that sounds nice. I think I'll do a wide leg forward fold and maybe a little pigeon on each side so I can transition between those poses pretty good. That sounds nice. So if you found enough rest, if you're still with me in these postures, or you just left me and exploring your practice yourself, I'm going to take a moment and wide leg forward fold because it's my favorite. It's all the explanation I need for myself because I like it. But just be careful and whenever we're stretching. Long lean. Right, no pain here. I still can explore my body deeply. So nowadays I feel this wide leg forward fold so much more in my back. So I stretch this arm over towards the opposite leg than I do on my legs anymore. But personally, that's all I'm just trying to find at the moment is a little balance in my body, as I've drastically used my left and my right so differently in my youth. So this time around, I'm here too. Maybe use it a bit more balanced, like between my left to my right. Woo. Spend as long as you like in wide leg forward fold. Then I myself will move through a pigeon on each side, turning towards one leg, paralleling that shin to the top or back of my mat. And then straightening that back leg behind us into our pigeon-like posture. Taking your time on each side. Just remember to do each side. From our pigeon. You don't want to do one-sided pigeon and not the other. Always take a modified pigeon on your back again. As I am working that way towards lying down to end our practice. Eventually, I'm going to do the right leg or the left leg forward first in my pigeon. So I'm turning towards my left leg, bending the knee, paralleling it somewhat to my mat. Making sure my back leg is straight out behind me. And finding your expression of a pigeon posture today with your left leg curled underneath of you. I like to spend lots of time with my chest up, opening up my right hip flexor. We don't want to stay for like minutes and minutes and minutes in these postures, but we can stay for a little while. As you see, I'm just trying to move slowly between each posture, but we're still only here for like less than 3 minutes. These are still active postures, so we are straining them, and so kind of 90 seconds is really all you want to spend in a particular posture at a given time. Sitting forever and ever isn't gonna get us farther. It'd be better to do it 90 seconds a day than 30 minutes one time a week. I think my time's up probably on this left side here, and so I'll find my way gently out of my pigeon, back through my wide leg forward fold, and then to the right side. Bending my right knee, straightening the left leg behind me. Pigeon this time. Ooh. Relishing in how each side is unique. Not feeling bad about myself when one side is different than the other. When your posture doesn't look like mine or vice versa. I don't blame Yoga with Adrienne for never going into her full postures on camera. It's a very personal thing to share your full practice with the world, as it's so easy to compare yourself to others, even the people you love. Hmm. Hmm. Alrighty, I don't need to stay any longer on my right. And so I find my way back through center. Maybe taking a moment and Baddha Konasana, butterfly. I've been doing these butterflies my whole life. We even did these in gymnastics when I was a little kid. She'd say, "Where are we flying today?" And I'd say, "I don't know." But my mind would go so many places. So many places when she'd ask, "Where are we flying today?" Beep, beep, my little butterfly. But I think it's time to make my way down to the ground, to my back. I'd like to take some bridge, maybe some leg raises, maybe a plow, maybe a shoulder stand, maybe a happy baby, maybe a twist. Sky's the limit here on our backs as we close our practice. Letting what remaining heat in our body shine in those dark places. I'm resting on my back with my knees towards the sky, resting in on one another, my feet at the edges of my mat. So I'm first going to take a bit of bridge. So I'm going to position my shoulders on the mat, giving my neck some space. I find a foundation with my arms, adjusting my feet in where they should be appropriately for my body on my bridge, ultimately lifting the hips towards the sky. Activating through your core, pressing your feet into the mat, and exploring what your bridge means for you today. Can you sneak in a little bit of mindful muscle movements? So I myself seek a bit more balance here between my left and my right. Bridge is a nice symmetrical pose in order to explore left and right. Stay in your bridge as long as you like. Take multiple reps. It's your time to explore how you want to do bridge in your practice. I'm going to take my rest after bridge with legs up the wall. Whatever that might mean for you, legs up the wall. My aim is just to let the blood flow in the opposite direction. But also selfishly, passive abs. About supporting my legs with an actual wall. Keep readjusting my back to try to get it to lay more flat on the ground as I get tired and want to arch my back as I swat this fly away from my face. Excuse me. I think I'll take a supine twist to either side, first to my right and then my left. Where I do a few leg raises to get one last moment of a little abs before finding my final postures, maybe Shavasana. But I'm supine twisting towards the right with my neck towards the left. Thank you! Excuse me. As I mindfully move back through center, shifting my head first and then my hips, and letting the knees fall to the left this time, and a supine twist in the opposite direction. Whew. But I'm still trying to find some length in my spine. Trying to let my opposite shoulder fall away towards the earth. Breathing into my belly. Letting that breath circulate and shine in those dark places. And I will come back to center, level my body, and then I'm going to do a few leg raises, getting in my final movements of abs and balance in my body. As I find my leg raises, I'm able to kind of focus, lifting and lowering each of my legs, how they glide differently on each side. This asymmetrical like movement helps me play with my imbalance. Breathing between each leg lift, finding my own rhythm, driving my lower back into the mat. I think that'll do it for me today. Feel quite spent after those leg lifts. I think it's time to find my way to Shavasana, extending my body long, taking our final rest. Being so grateful for taking this time for myself, maybe with you. One more day in which we've done our yoga practice, in which we've connected our minds and our bodies. We've made ourselves better, ultimately making the world a better place. because I've only listened to the same song for the last hour on repeat. What does that say about us? Shavasana. Taking a big morning stretch as I finish my Shavasana for today. Do I feel like a different person? A little. Well, I'm so grateful you took this time to be with yourself today. I'm so grateful that I was a part of that journey. Be gentle with yourself as you get up from your practice today. As I will be gentle with myself. Together we will make the world a better place, one practice at a time. With love, namaste. Wonder how my audio was.